Hello students, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to learn Standard 8 Geography Lesson 3 Hydrologic Cycle. Let's start. Let's see the objectives. To understand the status of water on the earth, to learn the basic concept of hydrological cycle, to study the different components of hydrological cycle, to study about evapotranspiration, to study about condensation, to study about precipitation, to study about infiltration, about percolation, to study about runoff. Let's see the introduction. Water is an important element on earth. All plants and animals need water for survival. Water is essential for carrying out almost all economic activities. About 71% of earth is covered with water and the rest is land, about 326 cubic miles. Water is essential for carrying out almost all economic activities. Water is available in air in the form of water vapors. Most of the water on the earth is saline and is found in the sea and ocean. Salt water is about 97.2% and the fresh water is about 2.8%. Out of this 2.8%, 2.2% is available as surface water and the remaining is groundwater. In this 2.2% of surface water, 2.15% is available as glaciers and ice caps. Water in India is available in three sources. They are precipitation, surface water and groundwater. Let's see the hydrological cycle or water cycle. Hydrology is the science which deals with the various aspects of water. So the study is about the various forms of water. It includes occurrence, movement, distribution and properties of water on earth. Availability of water on the earth is not uniform. Some places are very rich in water resources while some other places are poor in water resources. Hydrologic cycle is a global sun-driven process where water is transported from ocean to atmosphere, from atmosphere to land and then from land back to ocean. It is a closed system. The quantity of water involved in the cycle is invariable, though its distribution varies over space and time. Hydrological cycle is a circulation of water. It is a continuous process and takes place naturally. The three main phases are evapotranspiration, precipitation and runoff. Evapotranspiration is a process by which water is transferred from land to atmosphere by evaporation and soil, other surface and by transpiration from plants. Precipitation is a form of water in atmosphere such as water vapors. Runoff is the process by which water gets pulled away by gravity. Let's see the picture for better understanding. Evaporation takes place from the surface water and transpiration from the plants. Water vapor gets condensed into clouds. The clouds melt and sometimes burst, resulting in precipitation of different forms. A part of water from precipitation flows over the land is called runoff and other part infiltrates into the soil which build up the groundwater. Let's see the components of hydrologic cycle. There are 6 main components in hydrologic cycle. They are evapotranspiration, condensation, precipitation, infiltration, percolation and runoff. Let's see one by one in explanation. Evapotranspiration, it is defined as the total loss of water from the earth through evaporation from surface water bodies and transpiration from vegetation. In a cropped area, that is in the vegetation area, it is very difficult to determine the evaporation and transpiration separately. Therefore, it is collectively called evapotranspiration. Next is evaporation. Evaporation, it refers to the process in which liquid changes to gaseous form. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius and evaporates at 0 degrees slowly. Temperature is the main element which affects the rate of evaporation. Oceans, seas, lakes and rivers provide nearly 90% of evaporation and remaining is planned through transpiration. Extent of surface water, wind and atmospheric humidity affects the rate of water vapor. The rate of evaporation is low during the periods of calm winds than windy times. When the air is calmed, evaporated water tends to stay close to the water body. During windy, water vapor is driven away and replaced by dry air which increase evaporation. Let's see transpiration. It is the process by which water content in plants are released in the atmosphere in the form of water vapor. Water taken by plants is released through transpiration. The rate of transpiration is affected by temperature, wind and humidity. The rate of transpiration is also determined by soil, water content, availability of water to conduct water to the roots. Crop characteristics is environment and cultivation also determine transpiration in case of agriculture. Let's see the picture. So in the picture is shown the evaporation taken place through the surface water and the transpiration that is taken place by the plants through the leaves. Let's see the condensation. Condensation is the process in which the gaseous form of water changes into liquid form. It occurs in the atmosphere when warm air rises, cools and loses its capacity to hold water vapor. This water vapor condenses to form cloud droplets. Condensation is responsible for formation of clouds. The precipitation formed by cloud is the primary route to the earth's surface in water cycle. Condensation is the opposite of evaporation. Let's see the picture. Here the water gets evaporated and condensed and forms a cloud. From the clouds, the water gets precipitated and falls in the form of rain. There are three forms of condensation. They are dew. It is the droplet formed by the condensation of water vapors on a relatively cold surface of an object. It forms when the temperature of an object falls below the dew point temperature. Dew point temperature is the point at which water vapor condenses into liquid. So under dew we have frost. When the temperature of an object falls below the freezing point of the temperature, ice crystals are formed on an object by the deposition of water vapors on a cold surface known as frost. Next is a fog. It is the suspended tiny water droplets or ice crystals in air layer next to earth's surface. It reduces the visibility to 1000 meter. Next, under fog we see the mist. These are tiny droplets of water formed when water vapor in air is cooled, causing it to change from invisible gas to tiny water droplets. The third one is a cloud. It consists of tiny water droplets which are small and light in weight. They are formed by microscopic drops of water or by small ice crystals. The size of droplets range around 100 microns. Next is the precipitation. Precipitation is any form of liquid or solid water particles that falls from the atmosphere and reach the surface of the earth. Precipitation refers to all forms of water that falls from clouds and reaches the earth's surface. So far you would have understood. Now we will see the forms of precipitation. The form of precipitation depends upon the kind of weather or climate of a region. There are 5 types of forms of precipitation. Common type of precipitation includes rain, sleet, freezing rain, hail and snow. First one is the rain. It is the most common kind of precipitation. The precipitation in the form of water droplets is called rain. The size of raindrop is less than 0.5 mm in diameter called drizzle. The raindrop with more than 0.5 mm is known as rain. Next is the sleet. It is the precipitation that takes place in the form of mixture of water droplets and tiny particles of ice. This mixture of water droplets falls on the earth's surface as the precipitation. Next is the freezing rain. In this type of rain, the raindrops do not freeze. Instead, when they touch a cold surface, they freeze. This is called freezing rain. The drops of water is usually greater than 0.5 mm in diameter. I hope you would have understood this. Next is a hail. These are round pellets of ice larger than 5 mm in diameter. They are called hails. It forms as an ice pellets inside a cold region of cloud. Next, snow. Water vapors in the cloud is converted into snow pieces due to lowering of temperature. This is called as the powdery mass of ice. The precipitation in the form of powdery mass of ice is called snow. I hope you would have understood this. Infiltration, water entering the soil at the interface of ground is called infiltration. It allows the soil to store water. It is the process where rainwater soaks into the ground. Some of the water returns to the surface through spring and some amount remains underground called underground water. The rate of infiltration is influenced by physical characteristics of soil, vegetative cover, moisture content and rainfall density. Let's see the picture. So here we have the precipitation. Rain falls in the form of precipitation. So if the soil is porous, means the water enter into the soil and store as a underground water. If the soil is non-porous, then the water will run off. Okay. Next is the percolation. It is the downward movement of infiltrated water through soil and rocks layer. It moves the infiltrated water through the rocks layer, which leads to the formation of groundwater. So when the rain falls on the ground surface, through the infiltration, the water enter into the ground. It will store inside the rock and soil as a groundwater. Let's see runoff. It is the process by which water is pulled by the gravity across the land surface. It percolates the groundwater and surface water into an aquifer. An aquifer is an underground layer of water bearing rock or into a river or stream. Runoff is a major contributor of erosion. It curves out canyons and landforms. Amount of runoff depends on amount of rainfall, porosity of soil, vegetation and slope. Only about 35% of precipitation ends up in the sea or ocean and the other 65% is absorbed into the soil. In the picture I have shown rain which falls on the ground, it runs off like a river and ends in the sea and it's evaporate, then the process will continues. Let's see the types of runoff. Surface runoff. It is the portion of rainfall that enters the stream immediately after heavy rain. In this condition, the excess of water makes a head over the ground surface. It tends to move from one place to another called overland flow. It then joins streams or ocean called as a surface runoff. I hope you understood this. I have shown the runoff picture here. Subsurface runoff. It is the water that enters the subsoil and moves laterally without adjoining streams or ocean. Here the picture is shown here. The surface runoff. Below the surface, subsurface runoff is there which runs parallelly to each other and join the river or ocean. Next is the base flow. It is the flow of underground water from ground water zone to water channel. It appears at a downstream location where channel elevation is lower